Good evening. We'd like to welcome you to the Elmore County Commission work session dated Monday, April 12th, 2021. We'll call this meeting to order. I'd like to extend a warm welcome to all those who are visiting with us today. We appreciate your attendance and participation in the activities of your local government. We have several special presentations we'd like to address today, the first being a resolution recognizing National County Government Month. The month of April each year is an opportunity for us to celebrate the efforts not only here in our local county government, but collectively with all of the county governments throughout the United States. Many of you may be aware that we as a county commission participate in NACO, which is the National Association of Counties. It is an opportunity for us to collaborate with other counties and their leadership throughout the country. As you could expect, many of us face similar challenges, or maybe we find that another state or another county has resolved an issue that we're hoping to resolve, and so we collaborate with them and find solutions. So this is a celebration of the National County Government Month, and we have signed a resolution reflecting that as a county commission. Our next item is a proclamation recognizing Child Abuse Prevention Month. As a county commission, at our previous meeting at the end of March, in anticipation of the month of April, we recognized Child Abuse Prevention Month. And on April the 2nd, myself and fellow county commissioners participated in a ceremony at the DHR office here in Elmore County. We appreciate all of the efforts put forth by the employees there and many of our counselors and others in the school systems who help recognize and hopefully absolve the child abuse issues that we have locally in Elmore County. It's unfortunate that it does occur, but we as a county commission will continue to do all that we can to support those who are fighting against child abuse here in Elmore County. Our next item is an opportunity for the Elmore County Commission to recognize a local student athlete, in this case from one of our Elmore County schools, who has accomplished something that very few accomplish, which is winning a competition at the state level. We made a commitment over 3 years ago as a county commission to recognize any student in Elmore County who wins something at a state level, whether it be a science fair or a speech contest or a debate contest or a sporting event. And in this case, we have the opportunity to recognize a senior from Wetumpka High School, Mr. Mason Blackwell, who has won the Class 6A state championship in the 182-pound weight class with a 7-2 decision in the championship. As we all know, COVID has really placed some challenges on sporting events in the state of Alabama and throughout the country. But we are very excited and proud that the state and the Alabama High School Athletic Association found a way to make sure that our students, athletes could compete this year. And Mason finished the year undefeated with a 16-0 record. But I would like to mention that this is Mason's third consecutive state championship. As a sophomore, he won the state championship in the 170-pound weight class. And then apparently he ate a lot of food and bumped up to the 182-pound weight class as a junior and senior. And so we are very proud of him and his accomplishments. I will say, as a Wetumpka High School being in my district, I participate and follow in many of the activities of the students at Wetumpka High School, and the wrestling program at the high school has really developed over the last, I would say, decade. I can remember Khalik Jones and a few others who won state championships 5, 6, 7 years ago, and it was becoming a big deal at that time. Vershawn Graham, I think, won. So continuing in that tradition, and I think that the Mason has done a great job as a leader and is leaving the Wetumpka High School wrestling program in great hands. And I know that his father participates actively with the program. I follow them on Facebook. For whatever reason, these kids never turn in their singlets. I don't know. I mean, every Facebook post he makes is somebody needs to turn in some equipment they haven't turned in yet. But it's truly a family affair. So, and the coaches at Wetumpka High School have done a tremendous job as well. So we'd like to invite Mason to come forward, and coaches, any other family, y'all are welcome to come up. We'll have y'all stand up here, and we'll present Mason with this proclamation. Congratulations. All right, we will now proceed with our regular business, a review of the minutes of the March 22nd, 2021 Commission meeting. Any comments or questions? All right, hearing none, review the memorandum of warrants for the period of March 17, 2021 through April 6, 2021. Mr. Byer?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, the memorandum of warrants for that time period was $2,059,631.76.
Thank you. Any comments or questions? All right, hearing none, we'll proceed with our one item of old business. Consider one appointment to the Elmore Water and Sewer Authority, appointment due April 12, 2021. The candidate listed is Mr. Art Faulkner. He's currently serving in this capacity as a board member on the Elmore Water and Sewer Authority. It has been proposed by the authority to reappoint Mr. Faulkner. Are there any other names to consider? Any comments or questions? All right, hearing none, we'll proceed with new business. Consider setting a public hearing for a 020 restaurant retail liquor alcohol license application for Lake Martin Social by Lake Martin Social LLC at 2001 Castaway Island Road, Eclectic, Alabama 36024. Any comments or questions concerning the proposal to set this public hearing? All right, hearing none, we'll proceed with our next item. Discuss two appointments to the Horseshoe Bend Regional Library. Appointments are due May 10th, 2021. Our two candidates listed are Ms. Debbie Jones and Diana French. Any comments or questions or any additional names to consider? All right, hearing none, we'll proceed. Consider Resolution 2021-1, adopting the East Alabama Regional Division D Phase 2 Multi-Jurisdictional Hazard Mitigation Plan. Mr. Byer?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, the hazard mitigation plan, unlike previous plans, is no longer adopted county by county. It's done on a regional basis. That is a model that FEMA and state EMA have pursued. I believe we are one of the first few counties to adopt this hazard mitigation plan under the current setup. It does say we're phase 2, but if I'm not mistaken, the first phase was 2 counties in the region. So this is the next cohort of group counties to do that. This plan is necessary to be in place for us to be able to access any FEMA mitigation grant money that comes down pursuant to disaster. So every time there's a disaster, there's typically an activation of some mitigation funds that allow for communities to apply to be able to counter or mitigate future disasters or occurrences. So Keith and his staff with the EMA office have worked diligently on this. This has probably been more challenging for them than previous plans because of that regional aspect and having to communicate in this COVID era with doing everything remotely and not being able to be in place. So they've done an excellent job on this, and it's our recommendation that you adopt this resolution. We will also be taking this to the municipalities, as I'll report in my report to y'all here in just a little while. Next week when we meet with our mayors, this will be one of those items that we bring up and remind them of the importance of it, and adopting the plan also lets them be eligible for mitigation funds in the future as well.
Thank you. We appreciate the efforts of our EMA staff and others to get this moving forward in compliance with the expectations of the state. We'll proceed now. Consider approving cemetery application for Long Family Cemetery on Thornton Road, Wetumpka, Alabama. Mr. Byer?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, the Elmore County Highway Department, Engineering Office, along with the Elmore County Health Department have given their approval to this cemetery application. It has also been submitted to the probate judge for consideration. He is just awaiting approval from the county commission to move forward with the license.
All right, thank you. Any comments or questions? All right, hearing none, consider authorizing chairman to execute construction agreements for installation of roundabout at intersection of County Road 8, Redland Road, and County Road 59, Fire Tower Road, Dozier Road. Project number HSIP-2616250 and ECP 26-05-16. These projects have been long coming. And are there any additional information?
Only thing I was going to say is this one was let with the projects that you approved the construction agreements at the last meeting, but there had to be some adjustments to the construction agreement, so that's why it's a holdover. This project is, construction amount is about $1.5 million, and then the ones at the last meeting are in the $5 million range. So,
and these are part of the,
for our county.
and these are part of the MPO.
They are, well, this one is not. This one was an HSIP project, which is a Highway Safety Improvement Program fund.
Further down Redland Road.
The other projects, yes, at Redland and Rifle Range, they are MPO funds. This one we applied for and got actually in October of 2015, so we're going to be just a little less than 6 years getting this one executed, which is not acceptable. So, working on that at the federal level too. So.
All right, thank you. All right, we'll proceed now with the consent docket. Approved travel memorandum, approved surplus and sale of highway department equipment, approved family medical leave request for Pam Glover, shop office administrator. Personnel notifications. Notification of termination of Beverly Brown, equipment operator 2, effective 3/30/2021. Notification of resignation of Kurt Golson, equipment operator 2, effective 4/5/2021. Notification of promotion of Christy Pullen, admin IT clerk to chief warrants clerk, replace C. Shaw, effective 3/29/2021. Notification of hire of Michael Bowden, part-time corrections officer, replace N. Watson, effective 4/1/2021. Notification of resignation of Donald Shaw, courthouse security, effective 4/16/2021. Notification of resignation of Frank Alex Morrow, courthouse security, effective 4/16/2021. Notification of resignation of Ricky Shaw, courthouse security, effective 4/9/2021. Notification of resignation of Judge Tracy Headley, courthouse security, effective 4/12/2021. Notification of reassignment of Normal Carlton Sr., corrections officer, to courthouse security, fill vacant slot, effective 4/19/2021. Notification of military leave for Hugh Prater, deputy, effective 4/17/2021. Notification of resignation of Fran Holland, dispatcher, Tier 1, effective 4/7/2021. Notification of hire of Emily Hare, administrative assistant 1, effective 4/12/2021. Notification of hire of Lisa Colley, administrative assistant 1, effective 4/26/2021. Notification of hire of Brittany Myers, administrative assistant, fill vacant slot, effective 4/26/2021. We'll now proceed with reports to the commission. Mr. Byer.
Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, I have a handful of items that I'll fly through real quick, but wanted to make you aware that today we had a vaccination call with the EMA and several of our partners in the medical arena, the Board of Education, and municipalities. In a nutshell, we have availability of the vaccine. It's not all being used up in terms of appointments, so we will be working with our EMA to push out some messages later in the week that individuals that are interested in getting vaccinated should be looking at the Elmore Community Hospital website to be able to get an appointment, or through the Baptist Network. They can do that. There's also availability through some of our pharmacies. There's actually a website that you can find availability of the vaccines, and actually I think it even gets down to the different types of vaccines. So if you have anyone under the age of 18 and they're only eligible eligible for Pfizer, then you can find out where the Pfizer vaccine is being given. So EMA has done an excellent job coordinating with that. We've also, I think, done a very good job of getting our Board of Education in a position where anybody who wanted that with their employees has been vaccinated. Same with the county employees as well. And that's a shout out to the community hospital in helping us get that done. They've done a very good job of working with us. And Amanda Hannon and her crew have worked very well with Keith. 17 Springs, an update on that. This Thursday is an important date in that project. This Thursday, at the end of the day, the Stevens property will officially be solely owned by the county and the city of Millbrook. If you've been by that location in the last few days, you've seen a flurry of activity as they've tried to clean the old junkyard up and get that ready to go. We anticipate there being buildings that will be left for the county and city to deal with, but that's a far cry from all the parts and junk and everything else that we thought we were going to be dealing with. So early next week, we will secure the site to where nobody can get on the site except for county personnel, and we will start working on the final cleanup of that over the next few weeks. In addition, we've got a video ready that as soon as I share with Commissioner Mercer so he can hear the audio and make sure he approves the speaker who did the audio, we'll be pushing that out later this week with our partners as well, just kind of giving everybody an update. It's amazing what a little activity on Highway 14 will do in terms of the things that people will make up that's coming to the area or what should go there. Commissioner Mercer's nodding his head because he's seen that over the weekend and seen some of the posts. Charters of Freedom dedication, we have that on your calendar of events. It's May 11th at 10 o'clock. I believe from the county standpoint, we have gotten everything taken care of to be ready for that. We will be working with the chairman and Judge Pinkston to finalize the invite list. We will be inviting our delegation members at not only the state level but the national level. But we also have to finalize some other local invites and make sure we've got that ready before we send out the invite in the next week or so. Department heads are actively working on the budget requests for FY22. They have till the end of this month to turn those in. As soon as we get those, we'll be compiling that information, and we will be looking towards the end of May, first part of June to hold our budget hearings and go from there. Over the next 30 days, we will be sending out an RFQ for our energy saving services. As many of you remember, when you, the ones of you who returned to office at the beginning of your last term, we were implementing a lot of the energy savings into the buildings. This building was a benefactor of those energy savings, so we're coming up on year 4 of actually realizing savings. By June, July timeframe, we should hit the $1 million mark in savings. The entire project was a 20-year planned project, and it was $4.4 million in improvements. And so within 4 years, we've reached the first $1 million in our savings to pay back those improvements. But we have some needs that have outstripped the initial scope in terms of the jail and some air handlers. We talked about that during the budget process. But when we went back to the examiners to talk to them about being able to amend existing contracts because of the age of those initial improvements, they want us to go back through that process. So you'll be asked that. It's completely different than the bid process. It's a request for qualifications, and then we go through a negotiation process there. So if you see that out and about, then you will have some heads up on why we're doing that. I mentioned earlier, next Tuesday, the 20th at 10 a.m., we're meeting with our mayors. I think I have about 60% of the mayors that have responded back that they'll be here. I spoke with one today, and she's questionable. She's trying to send a council person. But that'll be an opportunity for us to not only talk about the American Rescue Funds and the potential investments that could happen in the county. Hopefully by then we'll either have a little better guidance or we'll be able to know a little better on when Treasury will announce their initial guidance to the counties and cities. But that'll also be an opportunity for us to update some things in general, like talk about infrastructure needs and things of that nature. So if you have anything pressing that you'd like to be on that agenda, please send that to me, and we'll make sure that we have that bulleted out to keep our time with the mayors very efficient. 2 other things to wrap up. 1, voting precincts. We provided y'all some information around the first of the year. We're working on that analysis and review. Our plan right now is to have that done before the end of the summer, so you could set new precincts, if need be, in ample time for the 22 election cycle. We met with the judge last week to talk a little bit about Judge Thornton, to talk about the election process in general, some things that we're going to need in FY22 budget related to voting machines, especially handicap related machines. We've been knowing for several cycles that was coming in terms of investment. You're probably talking in the range of about $125,000 to supply the county with the machines that are needed. And then we also talked to them about poll pads and things like that. So one of those positive turns to COVID that came out was the way that we handled the last two elections with helping the judge by having extra personnel in the field. So that feedback is helping kind of shape the way that we provide that service to the public. And we'll be working on that with y'all, as well as getting ready for, at the end of that summer, the entire redistricting process in general. So right now we're not coinciding the two of them. We're going to try to have our recommendations, and then we'll try to see how that impacts or is impacted by the redistricting process. The last thing in front of you, you got a spreadsheet that is an update that we do every time that we do our road inventory, our paved road inventory. We do not yet have you the full detailed inventory with maps. That's what we're trying to finalize for you. I could give you this 26 pages of spreadsheet, but most of you would be calling me asking me where a road is, or because I can't even keep up with 1,069 road segments. You have to have a map to kind of easily identify the conditions. But if you will note on there, from 2004, when we first took an inventory of our paved roads, you can see the change in the conditions of our roads, where we went from having over 55% of our roads grading in poor condition to now we're in a 25% ratio, and we've got over 75% in a good to excellent condition. So I know it's all comparative, but I rode through a couple of C counties above us over the weekend, and if you ride there and then you come back to Elmore County, you have a completely different appreciation for our road system. But same token, that's not the citizens' job is to compare us to other counties. We want to have a standard that's above that. But it's taken a while to get to that point, and that is from the investment the commission's made, and also the ability that the commissions were able to see, y'all included, in this being more proactive in how we invest money instead of just being reactive and fixing the worst roads we have and focusing on just those. So this is a testament. Luke and his staff have done an excellent job in gathering the data and being able to help keep that system up, and just wanted to make sure you had that. And we hope by the end of May we have all the inventory, the maps, and our recommendations of what roads need to be approached, but it also gives y'all the ability to look through those roads. You know which ones you get calls about, and you can see how they rank and be able to make those recommendations as well. As a reminder, August 31st is when we have to have our rebuild plans adopted. We've typically always done it in the mid part of July and been one of the first counties to execute on that. So hopefully keep that track record up. So, Mr. Chairman, that is my long-winded report. Do you have any questions or comments about it?
Thank you. We appreciate that report. We'll now proceed with reports from the commission. We'll begin with Commissioner Hines.
Thank you, Chairman Stubbs. First, I'd like to start with, had a lot of rain and had a lot of potholes, but the Highway Department has 3 crews out actually working to complete the outstanding work orders to take care of all of that. Mowing operations will begin the first week of May. That means road clearing and brush and operations will be stopping when the mowing commences. Prep work by the county forces to rebuild Alabama projects underway. Anticipate the contractors to work to begin in the early summer. Blading cycles for the unpaved roads continue, with spot blading to correct the bad locations being the focus. On our special projects, as Mr. Ritchie has just talked about, the 17 Springs, we continue to proceed to work on the Wetumpka Stadium, the 17 Springs ongoing. The Redland Middle School is in line for work also to be happening. Bridge replacement on Cherokee Trail is set to begin as soon as the rebar for the box on the culvert arrives. The roundabout intersection improvements and bridge replacement and widening on the Redland Road corridor that we just talked about has been bid and set to begin in early summer. The collective cost of this project is $6.5 million. Litter crews have been operated by the sheriff that's focusing on work orders and retrieving collected litter from community groups and the pickup. To add to that, the first community service ordered by the judges was this last week, and there was 2 that was ordered to serve and work with the county on their community service hours to pick up trash in the county, and that was something we requested and they have done for us. I'd like to commend the city of Millbrook with Hal Hodge and a couple others there that's really worked hard working with the litter in their city. The Hobo this weekend's cleanup on Lake Jordan is this Saturday, April 17th. Also, we'll be having the cleanup on Lake Martin. And on Lake Martin, they'll be meeting at the mini mall from 8 to 10 to get their supplies, and then they'll have a hot dog cookout immediately after. On the Hobo meeting in Lake Jordan, that'll be from 8 to 12, and that'll be at the Bonner State Park, and they'll have a bag lunches and T-shirts there for everyone also. The last thing on my meeting is we had a conference meeting this last week with Waste Management. Last Wednesday at 1 p.m. had 9 participants from Waste Management that was on the conference call with us, working on our problems in Elmore County. I think they understand that our citizens are very frustrated with what was going on and what's happening, and I know we tried to relate that strongly to them, and I think they are taking full hold of that and working with us. We still have some bumps to take care of, some of the phone calls, but I think with their help and with work, they're going to work on this full-heartedly, because it is very frustrating for all 5 of us and for our employees to constantly be having to answer phone calls constantly about trash, and there was over 400 of those calls. We feel their pain because that's something that we want the best service for our citizens of Elmore County. Okay, thank you, Chairman.
Commissioner Daughtry?
I don't have anything at this time, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Commissioner Mercer?
Thank you, Chairman. I have a few things to report. First, I want to start with 2 items in relation to our Economic Development Authority's effort. When ACETA works with large fishing tournaments, they have the participants of these teams to fill out an economic impact statement, or form rather. And what we want to do there, we want to capture the positive information about their economic impact on their tournament has on our county. And the most recent one we had was the American Crappie Trails tournament, where ACETA worked with, and we got those reports back in the last 10 days. And that tournament alone had a $500,000 positive economic impact in our county. And so we appreciate ACETA's effort in that, because that positively impacts our businesses, our hotels, restaurants, and our retailers. We have there are 2 other tournaments that are coming to the county here soon. One is going to be a kayak fishing tournament that will take place here in Wetumpka, and that's a very unique tournament for it to be the teams using kayaks, and they'll be fishing, of course, on the river. We appreciate our partners that work with us to bring these events to the county, specifically for the ACT Crappie Tournament and the Kayak Tournament. We'll be working with City of Millbrook for the one that took place, the Crappie Tournament that took place a few weeks ago, and also partnering with City of Wetumpka on the Crappie Tournament the Kayak Tournament that will be held here in the next few weeks. Another item in relation to CETA's work to promote fishing tourism in the county. A few weeks back, they worked with a production company that produces the Fishing University show. And I would like to say a special thank you to 2 Millbrook residents of Larry Live Oak and Greg Milam. They spent 2 days on Lake Jordan providing boats for the camera crews to shoot this show. The episode is already aired on the World Fishing Network, and it will start tomorrow, airing at various times on the Outdoor Channel. those type of events, we try to bring people to our county to enjoy our fisheries, but also we try to tell others what a good opportunity we have here to come enjoy our fishing. Commissioners, I'm passing out now the ACCA legislative report update. And if you will follow along with me there are a few bills that I want to report on the status of that are important to the counties. Governor Ivey has signed 3 of these bills, and you'll see them listed on that sheet I just gave you. The first is relation to the Safer Places program. It allows emergency managers across the state to work with local businesses and organizations to establish a safer place for citizens to seek shelter in during a storm event. The governor's also signed legislation into law streamlining the nomination process of our county board of equalization members, so these equalization boards can stay properly staffed across the state, so citizens can have their property tax appeal cases heard. And last, I would like to report that we now can hold our property tax sales in various places on the courthouse complex. Historically, the law has read where you had to have a tax sale on in front of the door of the courthouse, and that was the only place you could hold it. Now the law will be where you can have that tax sale on the county courthouse facility or either on the county annex, which gives our counties more flexibility to hold these sales. Chairman, that's all I have.
Thank you, Commissioner Mercer. Commissioner Lewis?
Yes, Chairman. Previously, we mentioned that for District 5, we were going to have a cleanup on April 17th, but due to more volunteer participation, basketball teams and other students wanting to help, we're going to move that trash pickup to May 1st, and hopefully this gives us one more pickup before the mowers start going and chopping everything up. Also, in an update with the healthcare, we are in the process of a study to get more information to see what services we need to build a better Elmore County for the medical care service. And I do hope to have updates on that in the upcoming meetings. Thank you, Chairman. That's it.
All right, thank you. I appreciate my fellow commissioners and their comments and their dedication and commitment to the citizens of Elmore County. A couple of items I'd like to briefly address. One, I appreciate Mr. Byer mentioning the voting precincts. I think that sometimes things like that are out of sight, out of mind, but I keenly and acutely remember the long lines at some of the polling locations in November and in the primary. Some of that obviously due to COVID and the challenges that we faced accompanying that, but also we have certain areas of our county that are growing tremendously, and some of our precinct locations are not sufficient in size or in parking availability to meet those needs. So we'll be addressing that. Look forward to meeting with the mayors regarding the American Rescue Funds. This is one of those matters in which the federal government has made certain decisions regarding the needs of municipalities and counties and citizens for that matter. And it is putting an opportunity in front of us that allows us to receive additional funding, and we're awaiting obviously some guidelines on how that money can be expended, but we can assure you that we'll make sure that we use those funds within the guidelines, but also to make sure that we're benefiting the citizens of our county. On April the 17th, which is this Saturday, there will be an Earth Day event at the new Farmers Market, which, if you're not familiar, where the senior center was located on the river next to the old police department, both of which were destroyed by the tornado. There is a new Farmers Market pavilion built on the river from 9 to 11 a.m. next Saturday. There will be an Earth Day event. There will be plant swaps, also free shirts given out, and they will accept recyclables. So any recyclable items you may have, they're accepting there at that event. So we encourage those who desire to come out and enjoy that. Another item I'd like to mention is something that I think is on all of our minds, and I think we're all seeing it more and more, is the lack of or the challenges that many of our small businesses and large businesses, for that matter, in our area are facing with regards to employment. I think that we've all seen some of our favorite local restaurants here in the Wetumpka area. Smokin' S Barbecue had to close their, you can't eat in Smokin' S now because they can't find employees to staff their eating area, so everything is carry out. Gone through some drive-throughs in the last week. They're asking for patience. They put signs up on the window, we're understaffed. And I'm certain that these people are trying to hire people. They're out looking for people, but I think we all have certain feelings about why this is happening, but I am certain that it's happening because our government is putting people in a position where they have a less of a desire to work and more of a desire to lay out and depend on someone else. And as long as that occurs, we will continue to face challenges, and people like each of us who are seeking to support and encourage our local businesses and others, I hope that we can all show some level of patience and gratitude for those who are willing to put themselves out there and risk their financial stability to try and keep the doors open. While we're transitioning in how the pandemic is affecting us, it is still affecting us, just in a different way. And that way that it's affecting us is that people have become dependent on others over the last 12 months, and it's going to take a long time for that to change. And so I hope that we will all be patient and work with them and encourage people to get out and be active and seek gainful employment to provide for themselves and their families. The last thing that I will mention is in regards to waste management, and we're going to give both Mike and Van an opportunity to speak to the County Commission here in just a moment after my remarks before the important calendar dates. I think, as Commissioner Hines stated, we did meet with waste management leadership, not only local leadership, but leadership all the way up to the state level last Wednesday at 1 p.m. It was a virtual meeting. I feel that the meeting was very fruitful with respect to our ability to communicate directly our experiences and our frustrations, and also to hear from waste management. I think it's important for all of us to understand, and I've tried to make a point. Sometimes it's hard to find a way to communicate with everybody. I've resorted to social media. I've made 2 posts regarding waste management, one before the meeting and one after the meeting. I think both were very detailed and accurate reflections of what the current environment was. But I hope, just as I just talked about patience, I think that there is an opportunity for us as citizens to find efficient and effective ways to communicate our concerns with waste management. And I am confident that waste management is moving in the right direction. I think that both of these men will willingly state that I was not extremely compassionate in the meeting. I think that we were very direct, and I think that and I will say that they took full responsibility. They did not, although I'm sure that there are things that are out of their control that have occurred. We've all experienced that in life. But they did take full responsibility for the events, and I do think that some of the events could have been avoided, and some of them probably were inevitable given the transition from advanced disposal to waste management with account information and all of those types of things. So there are factors like that involved that were more of a one-time event rather than a continual event. That migration of data and accounts took place on March the 29th, if I recall correctly, and it disrupted a lot of the workflow. We appreciate them sharing that with us, although they know now that I would like to know that information on the 28th, not the 5th of April. Because if I know it on the 28th, then we can be prepared for conversations that we may have. So the frustrations are still there. I got 3 phone calls today. I anticipate it to continue. However, I do hope that this week we're back on track and things are moving in the right direction. So, Mike and Van, if you'd like to come up here and just address the county commission. These commissioners are all aware of the conversations that we had on Wednesday, so not completely necessary to rehash all of that, but I would like for you to give a report as of, where we're at today and where we'll be tomorrow and in the coming weeks. Mike?
Well, Mr. Chairman, Commission, thank you very much for giving us this opportunity to come talk to you. It means a lot to us. As you stated, the migration has happened. We are now in the stages to where we can put the pieces together to make it where you get the service, the waste management standard of service in Elmore County. Now, Van with me, he's going to kind of elaborate on how we got here and what our next steps are.
Thank you.
Well, again, thank you for the opportunity. I know when we were here in November, we didn't expect to stumble out of the blocks as we did. And had we known, we would have given, a heads up. Well, I guess we knew that migration was happening, but we had no idea that it was going to stumble and kind of do what it did. Or we would have done we would have gotten this out. I mean, there were tests upon tests upon tests, but there were just things that, like I said on the call, I missed some things, and I didn't have the foresight to see some of these things, and we were the first ones out of the chute. So, lessons learned for us. Now we can the other waves, which doesn't help us, but the other waves will benefit from some of the things that's happened. But since our call or since our meeting, straight away right after it, I got with Lindsay, our customer engagement manager in Franklin, and started working on a communication bulletin. We shored that up on Thursday, and then been working on it. So we just printed out a few copies. This is going to give some information that it's going to be in a postcard type of format that will go out in the mailer as soon as this gets finalized, the final version gets approved, which I'm pushing this thing 3 or 4 times a day, checking on it, so it should happen. So what it has on there is just what you were speaking to, Chairman, the ways to communicate with us, and we're trying to put multiple different ways in there to communicate. As you can see it on the front and the back, emails, chats, the phones. As starting on the 29th when this happened, all the polls started rolling up to our call center in Franklin, which still, because of the volume of the calls, we kind of ramped up, but we are able to track these things. And that's Mike talked about. Now we can see. Now we have visibility of all the things that we need to work on, and we can start putting it together. Communication side of it as well, to get this information straight from the resident into our call center, and from there, it's kind of a global system. So there's no lag. There's no calling somebody in one of my offices, and they've got to write it down and get it to this person, and then the manager, then the driver. All this happens electronically now. So you get it straight from the resident, straight into our to the call center. They're verifying accounts, getting information, and get it published right back out to our route. We're not out in the woods. We've got a lot of work to do on routing, putting the routes together. Again, this is on me. I honestly didn't think that these routes in their system would have been as horrific as they were. So we got all of that bad data into our system. And so Monday morning, we were thinking everything's going to be fine. By Wednesday, it was evident things weren't fine. And at the same time, as I expressed to some, we these whimpers and illnesses within our staff. And it just created that perfect storm and that perfect food. You know, I've got everybody back that runs residential routes, except for the one driver, they'll be back next week. So everybody's back, healthy, working. And as we continue to put these, put this together, improve the communication piece of it that we misstepped on prior to. The invoicing information that still said advanced disposal, the confusion that created. We learned a lot from that whole piece, not just from the local, but all the way up to the corporate migration team. A lot of things have changed there. But we expect to continue to get better and pull these routes in and make it where our drivers aren't working like they have to have been. It's hard on them, it's hard on their families and so on. So we'll get this thing fixed. We'll get those hours released for our folks and give them a better quality of work life and home life. Because this takes a little bit of time to kind of get through all of this, and then we should be on an upward steady pace. We can really dig deep into our driver coaching, training, all the things that we do that we can use from that individual with the technology in conjunction with the to improve the services. What happened on my watch. It's on me, but I'm here to fix it. We will get through. I do know where we can be. I know these systems. I've been with Waste Management since we incorporated them, since we put the computers in the trucks. So I know where we can be as far as the service is concerned. I know who we picked up, when we picked them up, you know, where our vehicles are, all those things that we can use to coach and train to improve the service levels. Darren, you mentioned the challenges of idle. One of the first things I did when we purchased advanced disposal was change all of our drivers' pay rates from the things that they were on to an hourly rate. Every single one of those drivers got a pay raise to do it. They've got a company with better benefits. Everything, the engagement, the people first mentality. That's one thing at least I can hang my hat on that. We haven't had any turnover this year, which is pretty remarkable. But we're not getting those individuals coming in. So we've upped, I mentioned this Wednesday, we've got $2,000 driver sign-on bonuses. We've got $1,000 referral bonuses for employees, for drivers. But we've got to get them to the table to offer them jobs. So we're going to continue to do that. We're going to overstaff. We're going to be at 105, 106% staffing, and that's our goal to get to. So, I won't. Nobody can recover from 8 people getting out sometimes. But we'll be able to cover all of our rotations, people getting sick, people going out. We'll be able to take care of that. So that's in works. I've got a meeting tomorrow, and we're got a roundtable meeting, brainstorming to do something, anything that we can to make us to be the preferred employer. So I'm hoping that that's going to bear some fruit. But here, even when you stumble, I'm still going to be here to do everything I can and make it right.
All right, thank you, Van, and Mike, I appreciate you guys being here. I want to just mention a couple of things that you mentioned. First, and I'll share this with my fellow commissioners, we have forwarded now our trash@elmoreco.org, which is the email we've been referring people to. It is now forwarded to the email that's listed on this flyer. And I had an experience with that today where I had somebody call me about a trash can that they had requested, sent it to Richie. We put it in the trash@elmoreco.org. It was forwarded to Waste Management. And then we got an email response from Waste Management within probably an hour with an acknowledgement of the receipt and with a case number for that resident who was seeking or trying to get their trash cans. So we're now doing that. One thing we told Waste Management on Wednesday is we are not their public relations firm and we are not their communications department. So we have that email address set up in order to get information and then pass the information along. And we'll continue to do that. Another thing that I would like to mention before I forget, and Mr. Byron, Kim, if y'all can make sure, I would like for y'all to be back here on May the 10th, which is our first meeting in May. And if possible, I would like you to bring someone from or someone who is familiar with the call center. And I realize that's not really close and they may not be able to drive down here from where they're at, but either something from there or some data from the call center, with regards to calls, wait times, how many calls are you getting from Elmore County on a daily basis, just that type of data over from now until May 10th. So because I expect to see it decline from now until May 10th. So wait times decline, number of calls decline, all of those things decline from now until then. So if you can provide that data, and I'll tell you, I mean, I've told these guys, I'm on the road a lot, and I've called this 866 number twice. I'm still coming up with what I'm going to say my problem is, but I'm calling it just to see what the experience is, right? I want to hear what your music is on the wait time. I want to, all of those things. And, one time I did speak to someone, I think it was like 8 minutes or something like that. And we talked briefly about a second can, but, I'm not trying to clog up the lines, but I also need to know what it's like for these people, because if Commissioner Daughtry tells somebody to call this number and, that person doesn't know, that person thinks Commissioner Daughtry is responsible for that phone number, and Commissioner Daughtry is who told me. And if it doesn't work out, it's Commissioner Daughtry's fault. And that's not the way, we all agree that's not the way it should be. So, we'll, continue to relay this information. So this is being sent out not in a bill. This is a separate postcard that's being sent to everyone, correct? Okay, great. This might be the first time Elmore County residents see your logo. So, I think that's important. We still get, I got an email today. I've been calling Advanced Disposal for 4 months. They don't read the paper. They don't even, some people think Advanced Disposal bought Waste Management. That's, and that's a conversation for another day, but this is great. I think this is a great step in getting this out. I'll open it up to any fellow commissioners with any comments. I do commend both of you for being here. I'm not certain that Advanced Disposal would have showed up to this meeting, so I do commend you for that. Any comments or questions?
How many trucks do you have running in Elmore County now?
We have 9 routes running in Elmore County. That includes Tallahassee. And we're going to be adding a 10th route to Elmore County as soon as we get the authorization to break those additional routes up. So we'll be running 10 full routes in Elmore County, and so that includes Tallahassee.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments or questions?
The only other thing is, you may want to touch on the trucks. There's been a lot of things about older equipment and stuff, and I think y'all are starting to update that, and new containers too. If y'all would touch on that right quick, just to help the public.
So I'll start with the clocks. I feel that there's maybe some misunderstanding about replacing all the clocks. That is not the case. I've been doing this 22 years, and you buy another company or you get off, those things just happen to attrition. As they become unserviceable, then we replace them out with a new part or with a part that was picked up from a residence that moved or something like that. That part was picked up. It's all pressure washed and clean, serviceable when it goes back out. So that's on that. The trucks, that we purchased from Advanced Disposal, and the trucks that I have for service. They're a lot older than what, and understand, I only ran 2 residential routes, in Elmore County before this acquisition happened. So, I don't know what the plan is to replace those trucks. Typically, there's a 10-year, rollover. A lot of I think every truck we got from Advanced Disposal, with the exception of 2, are 8 to 10 years old. And the part you almost hesitate because I don't want it to, well, Van said this is gonna happen. But there is some talk that, moving into latter part of next year, going into, CNG trucks. So that may be why we're not replacing trucks now.
CNG being natural gas.
Compressed natural gas. And of course, since then, that happened way above my from that. But at least it has been mentioned to me that we're big enough now that it's a facility the size, that is primed for CNG operation. So, don't know the specifics to it. I've not been told that it's going to happen, but we're there. If it doesn't happen, I have to know in my heart there's going to be a plan to, get some of these trucks out for, replace them next year.
Thank you.
I appreciate y'all coming tonight. I've been often speak with Commissioner Hines and Commissioner Stubbs about their conversations with you, so I appreciate you taking ownership of this. And I'm very encouraged to see these different contact numbers and ways that our citizens can reach you, because that's not only do they initial complaint come from the fact they can't get the trash picked up or they can't get a replacement can, then it's just compounded by I can't get in touch with y'all. So just understand that when they can't get y'all, they call us. And that's our job. And we react to them instantly. But if we can't get an answer out of y'all, then it really does become a problem. So I just encourage you to know that when you don't get the trash picked up, then that dictates, what we're doing. And that's what when we want our citizens to contact us when they have a problem. That's what we do. We engage you to provide a trash service in the county, and that's what the county commission does. But I just really strongly encourage you to make sure that you continue to communicate with us, and we want to support you to be successful. And I appreciate y'all both being here tonight.
Well, my direction to all of my staff is, no matter how if you stumble, you've got to be responsible. You must do that. That's in our control. That's, nobody else can do that for us.
Thank you. And I will emphasize this, and I mentioned to you guys in the meeting, we are a great community with great people, and I really believe that we should see a waste management sign on every baseball field, on every scoreboard, at every school around here, and that's going to get you a long way with the people of Elmore County. People will know that you're a business, a company that cares about the community and is involved and engaged. So, I would highly recommend looking into opportunities to support local youth activities, schools, whatever it may be, and that will help also with brand awareness. So, thank you. Kimberly, important calendar dates.
Our next commission meeting will be on Tuesday, April 27th, the work session at 5, and the business meeting following. The first meeting in May will be on May 10th, with the work session at 5 and the business meeting following. And then, as Richie mentioned earlier, Tuesday, May 11th will be the Charters of Freedom dedication here at the Administrative Complex at 10 a.m.
All right, thank you. We'll reconvene shortly. Welcome to the Elmore County Commission business meeting dated Monday, April 12, 2021. We'll call this meeting to order. We'll begin with an invocation offered by Commissioner Lewis, following which Commissioner Daughtry will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
If everyone bow their head. Dear Laura, we come to you this afternoon. Thank you for everything that you've done for each one of us. Thank you for being within us and have us work for the citizens of Elmore County to make the best decisions for all of our citizens. We thank you, Lord, for safety precautions and COVID vaccines being available to all of our citizens, and we pray that each one of our citizens take smart actions to stay safe and protect their families. And we ask that you continue to work through us so that we can be servants to you. And this we pray. Amen.
Ms. Kim, would you call roll?
Commissioner Hines?
Here.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Here.
Chairman Stubbs?
Here.
Commissioner Mercer?
Here.
Commissioner Lewis?
Here.
Special presentations. Is there a motion to approve the resolution recognizing National County Government Month?
Motion?
Second.
Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Hines?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Lewis?
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve proclamation recognizing Child Abuse Prevention Month?
Motion approved.
Second.
Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Hines?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Lewis?
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve the resolution honoring the achievement of Mason Blackwell, Alabama High School Athletic Association State Wrestling Champion?
Motion approved.
Second?
Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Hines?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Lewis?
Yes.
Proceeding now with regular business. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the March 22nd, 2021 commission meeting as presented during the work session?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Hines?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Lewis?
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve the memorandum of warrants for the period of March 17, 2021 through April 6, 2021?
Motion approved.
Second?
Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Hines?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Lewis?
Yes.
Proceeding now with old business. Is there a motion to appoint Art Faulkner to the Elmore Water and Sewer Authority Board?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Hines?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Lewis?
Yes.
Proceeding now with new business. Is there a motion to approve setting a public hearing on Tuesday, April 27, 2021 at 5 p.m. for a 020 restaurant retail liquor alcohol license application for Lake Martin Social by Lake Martin Social LLC at 2001 Castaway Island Road, Eclectic, Alabama 36024?
Motion approved.
Second.
Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Hines?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Lewis?
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve Resolution 412-2021-1, adopting the East Alabama Regional Division D Phase 2 Multi-Jurisdictional Hazard Mitigation Plan?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Hines?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Lewis?
Yes.
Is there a motion to approving the cemetery application for Long Family Cemetery on Thornton Road, Wetumpka, Alabama?
Motion approved.
Second?
Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Hines?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Lewis?
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve authorizing chairman to execute construction agreements for installation of roundabout at intersection of County Road 8, Redland Road, and County Road 59, Fire Tower Road / Dozier Road, project number HSIP 2616-250 and ECP 26-05-16?
Motion approved.
Second.
Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Hines?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Lewis?
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve the consent docket as presented?
Motion approved.
Second.
Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Hines?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Lewis?
Yes.
We will forego the personnel notifications as they were presented during the work session. Any additional reports to the commission? Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Hines?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes,
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Lewis?
Yes.
we are adjourned.